Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Standard & Poor's raises the credits rating of the Sultanate of Oman from BB+ to BBB- with a stable outlook. Sohar Port and Free Zone attract investments of more than 11 billion and 200 million Omani riyals. And Hezbollah confirms the killing of its Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah in an Israeli bombardment of Beirut's southern suburbs. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. Standard & Poor's raises the credit rating of the Sultanate of Oman from BB+ to BBB- with a stable outlook as a result of the improvement in the country's financial performance. The agency said in its report, the improvement in the credit rating is attributed to the continuation of measures to improve public finances through initiatives and development measures in the financial and economic aspect, and government reconstructing measures, in addition to the government's commitment to reducing the state's public debt, governance of government companies, and reducing their indebtedness. The agency expects the state's general budget to achieve moderate financial surpluses of 1.9% during the period 2024 to 2027, assuming that the average price of Brent crude will reach about $80 per barrel during this period. The agency also expected that real GDP at constant prices would grow by about 2% annually on average. Sohar Port and Free Zone celebrated 2 decades of achievement, competitiveness, and global leadership. The ceremony was held under the patronage of His Excellency Engineer Saeed bin Hamoud Al Mawali, Minister of Transport, Communications and Information Technology.
With investments exceeding 11 billion Omani riyals, reflecting effective economic performance, Sohar Port and Free Zone celebrated 2 decades of continuous achievements in enhancing commercial and industrial activity. The ceremony highlighted the most important achievements of the past 20 years, through which it was able to achieve its development and economic goals.
Very proud to tell you that we celebrate this evening the 20th anniversary of Sohar Port, as in 2004 the first vessel entered the port, and that's where it all started. In those 20 years we have seen investment in total of over 29 billion US dollars. And you must imagine that at that time nothing was there. And in the meantime, we have a very professional, world-class facility port, where from nothing we went to 77 million tons of cargo.
Over the past years, Sohar Port and Free Zone have achieved major transformations, becoming a national model for construction, development, and innovation. Through its successful journey, Sohar Port and Free Zone have been able to establish and develop high standards of quality and excellence in the management of ports and free zones. They have also benefited from Oman's strategic location as a gateway between the East and West and integrated it into global supply chains.
The total amount of investment so far, we reached more than $30 billion of investment, and that also equal to 2.1 of the GDP of Oman, which is have a huge impact on Oman economy. So this kind of investment, it created a lot of, it attracted a lot of foreign investment in Oman. It created also a lot of jobs opportunity, which is also created more attraction for the logistic sector in the country.
Sohar Port is considered the main gateway for import and export in the Sultanate of Oman, as it contributes directly by 2.1% to the country's gross domestic product and provides approximately 36,000 direct and indirect job opportunities.
The Central Bank of Oman explained that the total balance granted by the banking sector increased by more than 3% by the end of last July, reaching 31 billion and 300 million Omani riyals. The total deposits in the sector also recorded a growth of 12.5%, reaching 31 billion Omani riyals. On the other hand, the total assets of Islamic banks and windows increased to about 7,800,000,000 Omani riyals, or more than 18% of the total assets of the banking sector in the Sultanate of Oman. The inflation rate in the Sultanate of Oman rose by 1.1% in August compared to the same month last year for the base year 2018, according to data issued by the National Center for Statistics and Information. The data indicated an increase in the prices of various groups of goods and services by 4.4%, food and non-alcoholic beverages by 3.3%, health by 2.4%, housing, water, electricity, gas, and other types of fuel by 1.7%, culture and entertainment by 0.7%, restaurants and hotels by 0.4%, and clothing and footwear by 0.3%. Still to come in our news bulletin. The Omani-Tunisian olive oil exhibition has come to a close. Hezbollah announced the killing of the party's Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah after an airstrike carried out by the Israeli army on Beirut's southern suburbs. Earlier, an Israeli army spokesman said that the airstrike targeted Hezbollah's main military headquarters in Beirut, which housed the party's Secretary General and other leaders, noting that the attack had been planned for a long time, according to his statements. Hezbollah has fired about 50 rockets since this morning towards Galilee and the city of Safed and its surrounding in response to the Israeli attack on Beirut's southern suburbs. Hezbollah said it targeted the northern command headquarters of the Israeli occupation army in the city of Safed and other military sites. The Israeli police said that the rockets caused significant damage in several locations around the city. The Israeli army targeted Beirut's southern suburb with a series of violent raids and shelled areas in the Tyre district in southern Lebanon. Excuse me. The United Nations has announced the allocation of emergency funding of $10 million as humanitarian aid for Lebanon. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs said that the United Nations and its partners are working with the Lebanese government to support response efforts and provide basic needs, adding at the same time that there are still severe funding gaps in some basic materials and that humanitarian organizations are assessing the amount of funding needed to deal with the increasing numbers of displaced persons. At least 4 Palestinians were martyred in the intense Israeli shelling on the Maghazi and Nusayrat camps in the central Gaza Strip. In Jabalia camp, an Israeli bombing of a house resulted in the martyrdom of a Palestinian man, his wife, and their 2 children. Palestinians were also martyred and injured in an Israeli air raid on the house in the Khizan el-Najjar area south of Khan Yunis. Firefighters and rescue crews pulled 2 bodies from rubble today following an explosion at a gas station in Russia's southern region of Dagestan, bringing the death toll to at least 12. The explosion yesterday triggered a fire that tore through the service station and its cafeteria on the outskirts of the regional capital, Makhachkala, said Russia's emergency minister, adding that 2 children were among the dead. The fire was later extinguished. Regional authorities said a criminal investigation into the cause of the explosion has been opened and that today has been declared a day of mourning in Dagestan. Last August, a massive explosion at a gas station in Dagestan killed 35 people and injured 115 others. Hurricane Helene left an enormous path of destruction across Florida and the southeastern U.S. yesterday, killing at least 40 people in 4 states. The Category 4 hurricane made landfall Thursday in Florida, snapping trees like twigs, tearing apart homes, and sending rescue crews on desperate and dangerous missions to save people from floodwaters. The damage extended hundreds of miles to the north, with flooding as far away as North Carolina. According to an Associated Press tally yesterday, the deaths occurred in Florida, Georgia, North and South Carolina. Flooding caused by continuous rainfall has killed at least 32 people in Nepal's capital, while 12 others are missing. 17 people were injured and 1,053 were rescued across Kathmandu. Rains have been pounding since last night and are expected to continue over the weekend. The government had issued flood warnings across the Himalayan nation, warning of massive rainfall. Buses were banned from traveling at night on highways and cars were discouraged from the roads. Security forces were ordered to high alert. Parts of Kathmandu were inundated by the swollen rivers, with many houses flooded and residents forced to move to top floors. Most of Kathmandu was without power and internet for the period of time. The Omani-Tunisian olive oil exhibition, held for a period of 3 days, concluded today. The event highlighted the benefits of olive oil and the potential of expanding its cultivation in Oman through expertise sharing and economic investment opportunities.
Olive oil and its benefits, along with the importance of cultivating it in Oman for economic investment, require efforts to expand production and share expertise with the countries experienced in this field. This was the focus of the Omani-Tunisian olive oil exhibition, which concluded today. The 3-day exhibition featured Omani olive oil products from mills in the villages of Jabal al-Akhdar in Dakhliya Governorate, as well as a variety of Tunisian olive oils, value-added products, and food items based on olive oil.
This is our first time we come to the Tunisian Omani olive oil exhibition. It's been very good so far. It's also in terms of a personal level and a business level. This is the first time I come to the Sultanate, but I was really impressed with the interest of the Omanis and the Tunisian olive oil. I hope this is a great start for a collaboration in business. We're looking for a distributor here. It's true, I know Omanis love great food, and I think Tunisian olive oil could be the great pair of it.
Participants included olive farmers, traders, mill owners, and agricultural institutions from Oman and Tunisia involved in producing, packaging, and exporting olive oil.
This event in Muscat Grand Malls, representing the qualities of olive oils in Tunisia and also in Sultanate of Oman. And we are participated in Royal Gardens and Farms, Royal Court Affairs, Riyadh Al Jabal Farm. The olive oil that is extracted in Riyadh Al Jabal Farm is categorized as premiums extra virgin olive oils with a high standard of chemicals and physical compositions. These qualities is really give a high value of this product. So now it's considered as one of the strategic crops in Al Jabal Al Akhdar area, and also in the mountains area, in that area in which we can grow the olive trees.
The exhibition aimed to strengthen agricultural relations between Oman and Tunisia, promote agricultural trade, showcase olive oil products, and create opportunities for partnerships between institutions, individuals, and entrepreneurs from both countries. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, I'm Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, Muscat Grand Mall, Governorate of Muscat.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Standard & Poor's raises the credits rating of the Sultanate of Oman from BB+ to BBB- with a stable outlook. Sohar Port and Free Zone attracts investment of more than 11 billion and 200 million Omani riyals. And Hezbollah confirms the killing of its Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah in an Israeli bombardment of Beirut's southern suburbs. With that, we come to the end of tonight's bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night and we wish you had an enjoyable weekend.